You're watching local coverage you can count on. This is Wayne 15 News, first at 5.
Good evening. We start with breaking news. A plane landed in a field southeast of the airport.
Wayne 15's Ruben Solis joins us now live from the scene. Ruben, what do we know about this so far?
Yeah, we are on Bronson Road here in Hoagland. This is just off of US 27 and Berkeley. This is about 10 miles south of the Fort Wayne International Airport. I believe you're looking at a map right now of where that scene is compared to where the plane made the emergency landing. But I want to bring you back out here to the scene. Just look at how close the plane came to this home right there, the small plane that came down, that made that landing just several feet, just about 20-30 feet from the home. It appears that the plane made a clean landing. It doesn't have too much damage, but we are hearing from about two people injured. We have no word on their conditions right now, or we don't know if anybody else was on board when the plane made that emergency landing. We know the plane is a 4-seater from the registration, but again, at this point, we don't know how many people were on board when it did make that emergency landing. Now, Fort Wayne Dispatch has been able to tell us that they started receiving calls about the plane making the landing around 4, shortly after 4, and that's when we made our way here to the scene, and that's just about how, just as much information that they could tell us. One neighbor that I spoke to out here told me that she didn't hear anything. She didn't hear any noises. She just came out here later on and saw that police and firefighters were here, and obviously saw the plane right behind the home. Neighbors here are not very close to each other. The woman that I talked to, her home is to the other side, maybe about 100 feet from where the plane made that landing. At this point, we are waiting for more information from police. They are out here, as well as firefighters. Again, 2 people injured. We know that right now. We're trying to figure out what their condition, if anybody else was on board, and what happened. One of the troopers says that he's going to have an update for us here shortly. So stay tuned throughout the show, throughout the newscast, and tune in tonight at 6 for any more updates.
Your first weather from the live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center.
It has been an afternoon with strong thunderstorms. The good news here is that those storms are moving to the east. Only a few lingering raindrops in northwest Ohio now, basically on the eastern side of Van Wert County, with the rest of the area being dry. While we are technically still under a thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock tonight, with the storms heading out, really our severe weather chance here goes way down. So this is good news for all of our outdoor activities tonight, primarily those Friday night football games. They will be unaffected by rainy, stormy weather. Temperatures sit in the mid-80s in most spots. It's 84 in Fort Wayne, 83 in Columbia City. We are cooler in Ohio, 78 in Defiance, 76 in Van Wert. Now, temperatures throughout the night continue to go down, and we'll have a cool morning coming our way tomorrow. And it's going to be a much cooler day overall, and less humid, too, as our muggy air mass moves out. But some warmer weather does return in the 10-day forecast, and I'm back to share the latest numbers with you in just a few minutes.
All right, Nicholas, thank you. A new development tonight, a day after Allen County Sheriff David Gladio was charged with battery. We've obtained a tort claim notice.
It indicates the family is requesting monetary damages of $300,000. The tort says Gladio not only pushed down the 15-year-old volunteer, but also swore at him twice. It happened at the Three Rivers Festival and started after Gladio and another man walked into the VIP area. The volunteer asked to see Gladio's VIP badge. He says Gladio responded, "I'm the expletive sheriff, move out of my way." The boy didn't believe it because the person smelled of alcohol. The incident became physical, with the volunteer falling on a tent stake. Allegedly, the sheriff told Fort Wayne police that it was just an expletive kid. There's not an expletive thing he can do about it. Gladio agreed to take part in a pretrial diversion program, but maintains his innocence. On Wayne.com, you'll find full coverage into the investigation. A Bern man accused of fatally stabbing his girlfriend told police that Satan told him to do it.
According to court documents, Kayla Bentley was stabbed 27 times in her apartment. Her boyfriend, Austin Griffith, faces charges in connection with her death. Wayne 15's Angelica Robinson joins us now from Bern.
We're told by neighbors that the woman was stabbed inside this downstairs apartment, then she ran upstairs to a neighbor for help. Bern PD was called to an apartment in the 700 block of Stuckey Street around 8 Thursday night. According to a probable cause affidavit, the victim, Kayla Bentley, lived there with Austin Griffith. Police found Bentley sitting in a chair in front of an upstairs apartment, and a neighbor told police she had been stabbed. There was a large pool of blood outside of that apartment. Court documents say Griffith yelled to police, "I'm over here." After being placed in handcuffs, Griffith reportedly told police he lost control and he asked if she was dying. Once in police custody, Griffith told investigators that he had to stop the sick God inside her and that if he didn't kill her, humanity was at risk. While being transported to the hospital, Bentley told police that Griffith stabbed her. Then she died. Nearby neighbors recall seeing Bentley moments before first responders arrived.
All of a sudden, Kayla came running up the steps. She said, "Brenda, help me." She was just dripping with blood and she had it all over everywhere.
Yeah, I went upstairs and I happened to look over and she was sitting there and she was just covered in blood. And I was like, man, something really bad had actually happened. And
According to court documents, officers were called to the home earlier this month. That time, Griffith told police that he was tired of Bentley accusing him of cheating. There were no accusations of violence at that time. Griffith is being held in Adams County Jail. Reporting in Bern, Angelica Robinson, Wayne 15 News.
A man wanted in 3 Indiana counties is on the run after a police chase in Steuben County overnight. The pursuit started near US 20 and State Road 327 around 1:30 in the morning after police received a tip about a wanted person in that area. Police found 21-year-old Vincent Chilcote in a pickup truck, but when confronted, he drove away. Steuben police say Chilcote tried to run over one of their deputies. An officer fired at the fugitive's vehicle, who then drove into a bean field and ran away. That deputy, by the way, is placed on administrative leave per department policy. Police are actively looking for Chilcote, who evaded capture. He's considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, you're asked to call police.
Actress Felicity Huffman has learned how long she'll be behind bars for her role in the college admissions scandal. She appeared in court this afternoon in Boston. A judge sentenced her to 14 days in prison. Huffman also received a $30,000 fine, 250 hours of community service, and 1 year's supervised release. She admits paying an admissions consultant $15,000 to boost her older daughter's SAT scores in 2017. Huffman must report to the prison in 6 weeks.
The rock star, known for songs like 2 Tickets to Paradise and Take Me Home Tonight, has passed away. The publicist for Eddie Money says he died shortly after it was announced he had stage 4 esophageal cancer. Back in 1987, he received a Best Rock Vocal Grammy nomination for Take Me Home Tonight, which featured a cameo from Ronnie Spector. Money was 70 years old.
A strike may be looming for General Motors. Contracts with the automaker and the United Auto Workers Union are set to expire this weekend. The agreement with General Motors ends at 11:59 tomorrow night. It is possible the contracts will be extended or an agreement could be reached, but it is more likely that over 49,000 members could walk out as early as Sunday because union and company demands are so far apart. More than 4,000 people in our area could be impacted by this. The local union rep says they have prepared for the first 7 days of a potential strike. Head to Wayne.com for more on how they're getting ready.
With less than 2 months until Election Day, one of the candidates for Fort Wayne's mayoral race took to the streets. Republican candidate Tim Smith and firefighters went door to door this afternoon speaking to residents. Smith also discussed various topics and was ready to listen about what voters cared about in this upcoming election. Smith's opponent is Democratic Mayor Tom Henry. Election Day set for November 5th. Both Henry and Smith will take part in a debate here in the Wayne 15 studio. We'll ask them questions and let them respond to each other about the issues that matter to you and to the city. That debate scheduled for Tuesday, October 29th.
Coming up on First at 5, a fall tradition is delayed for a day due to weather. We'll have the latest on the Keener Dairy Farm Festival when we come back.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching Wayne 15 News, First at 5.
An annual fall festival was supposed to start today, but Mother Nature got in the way.
The Keener Dairy Farm Fall Festival canceled festivities for tonight after high winds blew over a tent. Wayne 15's Joe Struess joins us now from the newsroom with more on this year's festival. So, Joe, what's going to happen now?
Yeah, hello, Dirk and Tara. That's right. The first evening of the Keener Fall Festival canceled due to thunderstorms today, but managers say the festival will officially begin tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And this will be the 7th year of the festival, which runs for the next 7 consecutive weekends. You can come out and enjoy hay rides, a farm tour, the popular corn maze, and over 30 other attractions each Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through October 27th. Of course, you can also try the sandwich known as the Mousetrap, which won Ultimate Grilled Cheese at the State Fair. I talked to one of the managers at Keenard's Farm, asking what the event means to him.
Oh, this is awesome. You know, this is the 7th year we've done our annual fall festival here at Keenard Dairy Farm. You know, it's so awesome to get the support from the community, and everybody comes out and wants to see what's going on a dairy farm. You know, one of the coolest things is to see the people that come back every year. It's amazing. I see them all the way through every weekend, and then they keep coming back every year. So it's awesome to get the support from the community like we've had.
Now this year they've added a new pedal kart track inspired by the Indianapolis 500 race. Admission to the festival is $10 and children under 2 are free. Hours are 6 to 10 on Fridays, 10 to 10 on Saturdays, and noon until 5 on Sundays. Again, this evening is canceled due to the thunderstorms that rolled through earlier this afternoon, and that festival will officially begin tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. In the newsroom, Joe Struess, Wayne 15 News.
All right, Joe, thanks very much.
It was pretty intense earlier.
Yeah, we heard wind really blew things around out there. Things will calm down through the evening. That's good news, and it'll lead us into a nice start to a weekend. I have your forecast after this.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferrari's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
Okay, so an interesting day of weather with thunderstorms rolling on through in parts of the area during the afternoon, and now those storms clearing the area to the east. Take a look at our St. Joseph Hospital weather camera. You can see the sunny moments earlier and then an overcast sky as the thunderstorms developed right nearby downtown. Basically, across the area, we've had a cold front moving on through, and some areas have seen thunderstorms while many areas have missed out. This is Trine University in Angola. You can see the wind's pretty strong there and some cloudy moments as well. We'll switch over to our live Doppler 15 Fury storm tracker. This is our radar review of the past 3 hours, and you can see at the start of the loop, the rain and thunderstorm activity basically beginning around that I-69 corridor and then increasing in strength and intensity as that line of thunderstorms moved to the east. So little spotted to the west of Fort Wayne earlier on today. Now, as our evening hours go on, with the thunderstorms exiting, well, that's pretty much all of the action. We're going to see the weather calm down here, so that means no worries for additional thunderstorms for tonight's Friday night football games or any outdoor plans you may have. Yes, a severe thunderstorm watch is technically still in effect. That's just because the Weather Service will let this area of thunderstorm activity clear the area before they cancel that early. I don't expect us to see any return to severe weather here for us over the next few hours. On Storm Tracker, things remain really quiet farther off to the west. That's going to give us a nice quiet start to our weekend weather tomorrow. And behind these thunderstorms comes a lot of cooler and much less humid air, so a big change for us tomorrow. Our current temperature, 84 degrees. Our winds from the west-southwest at 18 miles per hour, and our humidity still high. 78 degrees now in Defiance, 75 in Van Wert. Of course, these areas have experienced the rain most recently and have a great amount of cloud cover overhead. 83 in Kendallville, 83 in Columbia City, 83 in Huntington, and 85 in Decatur. Hartford City, you're at 87. By the time we get to kickoff tonight, our temperature will fall into the upper 70s, and by the end of the games, we drop 10 degrees down into the upper 60s. No rain, though, during those games, and Futurecast confirms all of this for us. We are going to see dry conditions throughout the overnight, and then by the time we get to the morning, we are looking at temperatures down in the mid-50s. 54, our low temperature in Fort Wayne overnight. Now, during the day tomorrow, we see some sunshine in the morning, even more sunshine during the afternoon, and it will be a comfortable day around here. Take a look at your forecast for tomorrow. At 8 in the morning, 57. At 10, 68. At noon, 74. At 2 o'clock, 77. At 4 o'clock, 79. In your exclusive 10-day forecast here, tomorrow, that high temperature in the upper 70s. Then we're in the mid-80s on Sunday and Monday, and really we'll retain a lot of that heat through the middle of next week. And then by the time we get to a week from Monday, we're going to see temperatures fall into the upper 70s. There is going to be a lot of dry weather for us during the upcoming stretch, and I'm happy to report that. That's the latest. I'll turn it back over to you guys, Tara and Dirk.
All right, if you joined us at the top of the show, you know that a plane landed in a field southeast of the airport, and we want to go back to Ruben Solis.
Yes, he is live in Hoagland now with the very latest on the situation. Ruben, what have you learned?
Yeah, guys, we just heard from a corporal with the Allen County Police, and he tells us so 2 people were on board the plane that made that emergency landing here in Hoagland. We can tell you good news, they're both okay. We're told it's just minor injuries, minor lacerations, but I want to show you here the plane right behind me, a small plane that ended up just here in this field. 20, 30 feet away from this home, close to a shed. You might see it there. And so the corporal was able to tell us as well that they did deploy the parachute at about 1,000 feet, and that helped the pilot make that emergency landing again here in Hoagland. This is just off of US 27 and Barkley on Brunson Road, excuse me. Again, those two people, minor injuries, minor lacerations. They're both here on scene, and the pilot is speaking, we're told, with the FFAA, excuse me, to see what they all have, what all comes next. And another, the woman is, you can see her in the background. She is the other occupant that was on board that plane when it made that emergency landing. Again, those people, we are told, were from Virginia heading to South Bend for the Notre Dame tomorrow. And again, they are okay, minor injuries, minor lacerations. We're going to stay out here for any more developments, and we're going to pass them along to you.
Everyone okay after a small plane crash in Hoagland. Ruben, thank you for that. We'll have more, of course, on our website, WANE.com.
And we'll be right back.
Count On continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching Wayne 15 News, first at 5.
A Fort Wayne football player made a significant change to the game.
Wayne 15's Kai Torquay has the story of Johnny Bright, who made a significant change to the face of the game.
The journey that changed football forever started with one player who walked these hallways, what was then Central High School in Fort Wayne, Indiana. A brutal, racist attack on the gridiron that would secure the safety of all future athletes.
His body had been criminalized in a sport he was playing that he loved.
It was a blindside, cheap shot. It's one of the dirtiest plays I've ever seen.
When you see those pictures in that context, it's hard to believe that that could happen. But it did.
A gridiron in Oklahoma, 1951.
It's like the racial injustice just comes to life.
A battleground that still haunts Deanie Bright Johnson nearly 70 years later. Nightmares of her dad, the best college football player in the country, with a broken jaw and zero sympathy from the stands.
People just, oh, that's the way it is. That's the way we play football. I mean, that's a terrible, terrible situation.
Johnny Bright, Drake University's superstar,
Johnny Bright explodes into the end zone.
Had been the first black player ever to step in this stadium. On this visit, opponent Wilbanks Smith wanted to make sure he'd never come back.
I was in the press box at the time. In 2 or 3 plays, I said, boy, they're really getting after John, you know.
He was watching his teammate run the ball, so he let his guards down just for a moment.
Then, a devastating blow to his exposed, unprotected face. Moments later, a second strike, and then a third. But before his team carried his limp body off the field, he launched a statement 61-yard touchdown pass, ready to be the face that changed the safety of the game forever.
The best way to retaliate is to be great. And that's a page that you could take from Johnny Bright.
A lifetime of leaving witnesses in awe.
And you couldn't beat him. It was unbelievable. He moved like a cat.
I can remember trying to tackle him, and he had those long legs and those knees hitting you. I can still feel that yet. My head going back. He was hard to bring down.
And here is Johnny Bright putting 14 yards into the statistics.
Johnny Bright's legend took off in Fort Wayne, Indiana. From Central High School phenom all the way to the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, schools, awards, and stadiums inspired by his name.
My dad would say football, sports is the vehicle. His love and his passion was educating people.
So our afternoon and now evening rain and thunderstorms that we've been tracking are moving east. That's good news because it means our additional storm threat and our severe weather threat are decreasing. So look for a pretty much dry evening ahead of us and a cooler, more comfortable day and much less humid day coming our way tomorrow. Tomorrow our highs in the upper 70s. We're back to the 80s on Sunday, but humidity really doesn't bump up all that much.
Thanks, Nicholas.
See you at 6.